So welcome everyone again. See now that more people joined, so we can now start. Thank you so much again for being here. So just a quick reminder about the fact that GoToWebinar provides the chat panel where you can write down all the questions that will come to your mind, and I'll be more than happy to answer them at the end of the webinar in our Q&A section. So let's get started. In today's webinar, we'll explore digital adoption platforms from the ground up. We will understand their purpose and the problems they can solve. I'd like to begin with a couple of scenarios that you might find familiar in your organization. So let's see the first one. So this scenario is about implementing a new CRM system. So you have basically just implemented a new great CRM system in your organization, and you're expecting it to streamline the sales processes and to boost the productivity of your enterprise. However, after a few months, you notice that many employees are still struggling to use it. They are either not using it at all, or they are only utilizing a fraction of its capabilities. And I know from experience that this scenario is really common in many organizations. So let's see at the problem you may face. So there are many problems you may face in the adoption of the new CRM. You can, for example, face the inefficient usage. So basically, your employees are not using all the features that the CRM provides, but just a fraction of it. Or you can, for example, find that your users are incorrectly using the CRM. So, for example, they are making mistakes while using the CRM. They are entering inconsistent or incorrect data. So this is even worse because they are basically halting the whole process and the whole purpose of the CRM itself. You see also that you have low adoption rates. So basically, not everyone is using the new CRM because for example, because their habits, they prefer to do their processes outside the CRM, like, for example, noting down information about customers that are left outside the dedicated fields on the CRM. And you see also that many wasted resources are being spent because the investment software and training is not bringing the expected returns. So now the question, what is missing from this equation? What is missing from this new project that was aimed to adopting a CRM to empowering your processes? So how can you ensure that your employees not only use the software, but also you get the maximum value for it? One solution could be exactly the introduction of a digital adoption platform. So let's start from the basics and see the definition of a digital adoption platform. That is a software solution designed to facilitate user adoption or digital tools and technologies. It acts as a guide, providing real-time in-app support and training to ensure that users can effectively utilize software and software applications. So basically, what DAP does is instructing your end users to use correctly all the software that you are implementing or that you are trying to implement in your digital environment. Let's see now a second scenario that is about an enterprise that is facing a growing challenge with its internal help desk. So in a given moment, you find out that your support team is overwhelmed by an increasing number of tickets, and you also find out that many of those tickets are repetitive or closely related, are basically about the same or similar issues that your end users find in specific processes. So in so the most logical thing that this imaginary enterprise decide to do is to enhance, improve its internal knowledge base, or maybe to create one from scratch. So the IT and the support teams enhance the knowledge base with frequently asked questions and troubleshooting guides, and starts also to promote it with emails and dedicated trainings. Problem is, employees still keep submitting tickets instead of searching for answers in the knowledge base, because the knowledge base is somewhere in your digital environment, and your users, your employees are not used to search for answers themselves in it. They are so used to ask for help that they keep doing that. As a result, the help desk staff become the primary user of the knowledge base itself, because every time they get a new question, every time they get a new ticket, basically your employees are asking to the support team itself to search them for an answer in the knowledge base. So basically, this adds an extra step for your support team, and that slows even more the responses and increase the frustration. So basically, the solution you found out is basically worsening the whole situation. So here, the solution again could be the adoption of a digital adoption platform. And it can work in two ways in this scenario. And the first way is a push solution. That is basically the ability of the digital adoption platform to guide your users through the workflows, showing them how to complete the tasks in the context while they are doing them. So basically, your users will learn while doing. And then there is also the pull solution. That is a solution that allows your employees to browse for the guides they need, or ask directly a chatbot within their workflow. So exactly in the place and at the time they need for they need some information. And the chatbot itself will search among all the information available in the knowledge base and will fetch for them, and will return those information to your employees directly inside the environment, inside the work process they are facing. So let's see now some key features that the digital adoption platform can grant to your organization. So the first one, the core, let's say, of the digital adoption platform is are the guided user onboarding. So they are basically interactive and personalized training to accelerate user proficiency. And this is done by usually by the in-app guidance that are basically just step-by-step guides that can show to your end users how to do some process, or basically they take your user by the hand and bring it through the whole process while he is doing that. Another feature of a key feature of digital adoption platform is the in-app knowledge. So basically is the ability of the digital adoption platforms to bring directly inside the environments, the digital environment that your employees populate, the internal knowledge of the enterprise, the documentation, or every kind of resource that is available inside your organization. This will mean that your end users will not need anymore to search for information elsewhere. It will be the digital adoption platform that will bring all those information, all those resources directly to your end users, directly within the work process. Then there is also the self-service support. So this is exactly why and how the digital adoption platform will lower all the tickets that your support team is dealing with, because the self-service support, is basically the ability to let your end users themselves to search for help and find it in a matter of seconds without involving any other player in it. And then one of the core functionalities, key features of the digital adoption platforms are the analytics and the feedback. So these kind of insights are more for obviously the administrators and the people that manage the workflow, all the workflows on your organization, and are usually about the user behavior and the feedbacks that your end users can give to these admins. But it's not only about that, it's also about the shape of your workflows. You can find out, for example, that it's not a problem of people, it's a problem of the process that you created to reach some goal inside your organization. For example, there is some friction with a specific tool that can be, for example, changed or can be excluded from the process itself. So these kind of analytics and feedback are useful to gain an overview about not only the human behavior of your employees, but also about the technical behavior of your organization. So let's see now about something about the key benefits that you can gain using a digital adoption platform. The first one is gaining higher adoption rates. We have seen it in the first scenario. So basically, digital adoption platform shorten the learning curve. So make your users learn faster all the processes that are implied in your organization, and also grant a long-lasting software adoption. That means that the first time your users are trained, it will be easier for them. But every time for example, your digital environment changes, for example, let's take the case of a software update that will change some pieces of the UI of one of your platforms. So without a digital adoption platform, you will have to retrain from scratch or change some, let's say, habits about the usage of that platform. But with a digital adoption platform, you can basically streamline this retraining process, just changing a bit, for example, the guide that is guiding your users through a process that is facing this UA change. So this is why the adoption is not a one-shot moment in the process of the whole process adoption, but is long-lasting. So it will also sustain all the changes that you can find in your digital environment. Then there is the improved user experience. This is simple to understand. So if you have a guide that is guiding you through a process, it's easier to learn that process, and it's easier to reach the goal of that process. You will also lower support costs with a digital adoption platform, because, as I said, this is the case of the second scenario I showed you. Self-service support minimizes the need for extensive training session and IT support. So you're basically taking time away from the adoption process to give that time to more important tasks. And then we have also enhanced efficiency. So real-time guidance will streamline workflows and will improve overall productivity. As I said, more time for the tasks and taken from the adoption process will give more time to more important tasks. So let's see now some common use case for a DAP that will basically sum up the value of the adoption of a DAP. The first, the most common case is obviously the employee onboarding, but you can also use a DAP for customer training. So this will basically this will basically offer your customers a better user experience and so a higher satisfaction by ensuring that they get the most out of your software. Then there is the case of the software migration. This is really a common case in modern organization. So it's basically an advanced employee onboarding because you have a group of people that are already trained in a software that now need to relearn from scratch, but they are already employee. Maybe they are very busy in their work, and they don't have the same time that, for example, a new employee can have to learn. So software migration is really a key use case for DAP, and will help obviously to smooth the transition between two systems. Then there is these two use cases that are process optimization and process conformity. What does it mean? It means that for process optimization, you are streamlining all the business operation that are in your organization, but maybe the most important thing here is the process conformity. Process conformity means that you are basically lowering all the mistakes that your end users can do in their processes. Because if you have to follow a specific guide, if you have all the information provided directly into the digital environment that you are populating while you are doing your job, it means that you are less prone to mistakes. So all the missing data, all the wrong data, all the wrong entries are basically canceled by the digital adoption platform. Then there is also obviously the continuous improvement. That means that a digital adoption platform is not only useful for the beginning of some adoption, but also in the long period, because you can get feedbacks and analytics out of the digital adoption platform. For example, digital adoption platforms are very useful to get specific feedbacks for specific processes or areas of your products, or from, for example, specific departments of your organization. And then we have also obviously the user engagement and the satisfaction. So having someone that brings the right information in the right place while you are working boosts the user engagement and obviously also the satisfaction at work of your employees. Okay, so let's try to break some myths about the DAP now. So the first one is DAP are only for tech-savvy users. Means that DAPs can be hard to learn themselves, and that's all exactly the opposite, because DAPs, modern DAPs, are designed to make technology accessible to everyone, regardless of their technical background. And that is not only true for the end user side, but also for the admin side, because, for example, New Wired is conceived to be totally code-free. So both your end users, but also your content authors, the people that are that have the role to create all the guides, to fetch all the knowledge that your end users can use, will not have to be able to code, will not be able to will not have to be able to have this high technical background, because NewWire is totally user-friendly, totally code-free, and is able to offer all its services basically with just an initial deployment, technical deployment that will take basically half an hour, and then everyone is able to use it in both sides, so both the end user side and the admin side, without any technical background. The second myth is implementing a DAP is expensive and only for large corporations. So this is a question that this is a doubt, a fear that I often find among our customers, especially for the customers that that have either a big organization or a small organization, because they fear that for the big ones, they fear that will take a huge amount of money to bring this knowledge to everyone due to the huge dimension of the organization. And for the smaller ones, they fear that they are too small to gain some advantage out of the DAPs. And that's not true in both cases, because there is an important concept of scalability that DAPs offers. And this is the usual approach that we have with basically all our customers, that is to start small and scale up later in the long period. So this is how you can, for example, also manage the effort that you are and the resources that you are spending day by day, going in with this scalable approach. The third myth is DAPs are complicated and time-consuming to implement. So I've already anticipated this before, but it's quite the opposite, because modern DAPs are designed to be quick and easy to implement. As I said, the implementation of NewWire, for example, takes usually half an hour to have our DAP in your environment. Obviously, then it's a matter of creating the knowledge. But for example, if you already have a knowledge base that is stored somewhere, could be a learning center online, could be some documentation offline, we already have our chatbot that is able to learn from those sources and bring those sources directly in the digital environment that your employees populate. So basically, the technical implementation is a matter of half an hour. The creation of some valuable, at least for the start, for the begin, the creation of some valuable material is already there. You don't have basically to do nothing to train this AI chatbot over your knowledge if you already have a knowledge base. Number 4 is DAPs are only for customers, not employees. And here again, maybe is quite the opposite, because employees are the exact candidate to use a DAP for their workflows. we know that in the most complex workflows are usually not for the customers, that usually have to just maybe, I don't know, buy something from a website, but the most complex use cases lie within the organizations, like, for example, to use some management platforms. So DAPs are made for that. DAPs are made, the most complex is, the more complex is the process, the more the DAP is useful. So is the opposite of this. Number 5 is DAPs replace human support and training. So as we've seen in both our scenarios, support and training are not replaced, are basically given to the employees themselves. So now the employees themselves are self-sustained on support. So they are still learning, they are still improving their skills, but they are doing them autonomously. And meanwhile, your support teams can focus on more, let's say, important, more complex requests from your end users, while your end users are self-sustained by the DAPs for less complex issues. Then DAP is a one-time solution. As we've seen, DAPs only not only are useful for the onboarding, but can be useful also for process conformity. So to not make your end users make mistakes. For analytics, to improve your digital environment and your workflows. And also, they can make your digital environments resilient to the changes. So in the long run, obviously, DAPs can face every kind of change. For example, you never know if you will maybe change some platform in the future. And in that case, you are already covered for the onboarding because DAPs are there for that. Number 7 is software alone is enough for digital transformation. I think that you already know the answer. If you ever face the challenge of adopting and make your employees adopt a new platform. So I will maybe go fast on this one. Number 8 is DAP focus solely on technology and not people. So DAPs focus on making technology accessible and user-friendly, which in return enhances the productivity and job satisfaction. So obviously the approach is technical, but what you get in return is totally focusing, is about people, it's about their efficiency, their satisfaction, and at the end also is about enhancing your business. Number 9, DAPs will take years to show results. And here again is quite the opposite. So DAPs can be crucial from the day one. DAPs will allow your user to be proficient basically from the first day of an adoption process. And in the long run, as I said, will continue to sustain your environment, your digital environment, your workflows, and at the end, your business. Let's see now quickly some DAP market data. So digital adoption platform market is projected to grow from basically $3 billion in 2025 to up to 18 billion by 2034. Right now, we see that this is a common tool in North America, but Europe is basically following right now and is basically discovering this new tool. So this is something that is also coming to Europe, and we have also some driving factors for that. There are the increasing need for digital transformation across industries, and I would say also the increasing complexity of digital environments, digital platforms, and also the interconnection of those platforms that are usually needed inside the organizations. And let me say, for example, that New Wire is cross application. So basically all the workflows that usually include 2 or more platforms can be followed by New Wire. So the guides that New Wire creates can be created through multiple applications seamlessly. Then we have also some other driving factors. So the rise in remote work that we faced after the pandemic, and the growing adoption of cloud-based solutions. Now, finally, just a quick peek at the current DAP trends. I will just maybe talk about a couple of them. So the first, obviously, is the generative AI that is quite becoming the standard. So DAP is now facing this new technology, as the word itself, I would say, but specifically the DAP market is now facing this and try to incorporate and adopt this new technology that is particularly useful to interact with the human part of the business using the LLM, the large language models. So large language models obviously are one perfect way to help humans in their work because they speak the same language and they can provide the right information in the same language. So this is obviously a key trend. Then there's also the need for high security standards, and for that, New Wire is ISO compliant, and our long list of customers working in security sensible industries are there to demonstrate it. And I would say also the increasing need of analytics is something that is driving the changes in the DAP market, because DAPs are more and more a tool that is multifaceted. It's not only about, as I said, guiding your users, is also about gathering some valuable information about their behavior. So we are at the end of this webinar. Just a quick peek now about the next webinar and the topics that we'll bring on the table. So you will see a digital adoption platform in action to see how actually a digital adoption platform can help you. And as I said a couple of minutes ago, you will also see how the analytics can bring value to your organization. So please don't forget to register. Now, let's see some of your questions. Okay. Okay, so how is artificial intelligence being integrated into the APIs? That's a good question. There's a broad question. I will try to go with a not so broad answer. So let's say there are now various ways in which AI is being integrated into the digital adoption platform market. I'd like to talk about what we are trying to do. So I'd like to talk about our recent releases where we have introduced our chatbot that is designed to, as I said, help users become more self-sufficient in finding the information they need, exactly when they need it and where they need it. So the idea is to have this assistant that is available 24/7 and is capable of responding to the user queries by pulling from a company knowledge base all the information that can be also continuously updated and customized with any kind of documentation that you have and that you already have. So it's basically a way to give another life, a new life, to all the resources, all the articles or the information stored in the learning center that you might already have. Beyond that, we added also the automatic translation that is a pretty common usage of the AI nowadays, and we integrated it directly inside inside New Wired. So basically, now you just create knowledge for using one language, and New Wired will provide the translation to your end users. And we are also committed to bring some AI tools into the analytics part to try to suggest some actions to the administrators themselves, because usually I would say it's always good to have some data, but then you have to read the data and interpret the data, and that is an hard work, and we will try to facilitate that with using AI. And speaking of the market, I would say there are other approaches in the market right now that are more focused into automations. So basically automating all the actions inside a task. But our view is more about pairing AI with human users, so not replacing them. We believe that it's crucial to keep the user and their learning and data interpretation processes at the center of everything we do. And second question is DAP a good choice for manufacturing industries? Absolutely. Even industries that are a little less digital and more focused on industrial production, I think they have plenty of use cases where digital adoption platforms can be helpful, like, for example, managing staff or overseeing production softwares. And a great example for us, at least, is Lamborghini. That is one of our clients.